This section considers territories, site selection and lease negotiations. Territories. Most people think franchises are merely divided by territories. There are, however, other options. Exclusive territories. This is where there is a designated territory, normally defined by a map, in which the franchisee is the only one who can market or operate the business. Non-exclusive territories. This is where there is no territory allocated, or where there are nominal territories in which you operate, but other franchisees or the company operations of the franchisor may also conduct business. Shared territories. This is where a restricted number of franchisees operate within a designated region. Contracts or customers. This is where a franchisee is provided or develops specific contracts or certain customers to service under the grant of the franchise. These can be added to or subtracted for various reasons, but will typically only be loosely geographically grouped. Location-based. This is another situation in which there is no territory, only a location or retail outlet from which the franchisee has the right to trade. This seems to provide little protection to a franchisee, but works under certain circumstances where units can often operate successfully close together. These are the main forms of territories. However, there can also be combinations and variations on all of those described. Some franchise agreements will also include rights for franchisees to take on more outlets or another territory, or to subdivide their territory, potentially for some monetary gain. Overall, it is important to have a clear understanding of what territory exclusivity or not you are getting. And remember, any territory exclusivity you may get is exclusive to the brand in question. There is typically nothing to stop a competitor from starting along the street. Finding a site. Location, location, location is an enduring real estate phrase we're all familiar with. And operating from the right location can be a major success determinant for many premises-based franchises, just as it is for many other forms of business. That means you need to find a suitable site and one that is well situated and sufficiently presentable to produce good results while not breaking the bank with high rent. Many franchisors will provide assistance finding a suitable location and with negotiating a lease. In many cases, this can be a great help, but remember, it is your money that will be at stake, and for that reason, you need to be satisfied the final site selected will work for you by conducting your own research and making your own assessment. There are a lot of factors to consider when finding a suitable site, such as the size and configuration. Is it operationally a good fit for the franchise business model? Site or building condition. How much work and at what cost will be required to bring the site or building up to standard? Local demographics. Do the local demographics suit the target customer base, and are there enough of them? Local traffic patterns and accessibility. Does the site provide sufficient access and visibility? Signage opportunities. Can sufficient signage be erected and displayed? Parking. Is there convenient customer parking? And other businesses. Is the site located near other complementary or competitive businesses, and what is the potential impact? And leasing arrangements. Can the property be secured on favourable terms? Franchising research in New Zealand has demonstrated the importance of site selection, and doing good research at this phase will be crucial. Sources of information. The following can be good potential sources of information when finding a suitable site. The franchisor, who is often experienced and also likely to provide final site approval. Other franchisees who, based on their experience, may also provide valuable insights into important considerations. Demographers and location analysis specialists, including New Zealand Post, who can provide important local information about the site and surrounding territory. And other service providers, like the banks, who may be familiar with similar business models and the history and potential of particular sites. Leases. Finding a suitable site is one thing, and finding a suitable site on favourable leasing terms is another. In franchising, there are typically two main leasing models: a direct lease model, and this is where the franchisee has a direct leasing agreement with the landlord of a property, and the franchisor will mostly not be a party to this agreement. However, the franchise agreement between the franchisor and franchisee may contain a requirement that the lease provides an option for the franchisor to take over the site in the event the franchisee is terminated. A sublease model. This is where the franchisor first has a lease with the landlord, and then, secondly, the franchisor has a sublease agreement with the franchisee. Another option is an occupation license, which is distinct from a lease. Whichever model is employed, a franchisee will be concerned with ensuring they have the rights to use the property throughout the term of the franchise agreement, including any renewal periods. As a franchisee, you should also consider what might be possible at the end of the total franchise term, as some franchisors may then elect to grant an additional franchise term. Sources of information. Good sources of information relating to lease negotiations include the franchisor, who will typically be experienced, a commercial real estate broker or a property advisor who specialises in representing retail tenants, a lawyer with experience in both franchising and representing retail tenants, and your accountant to consider the lease affordability, and finally your knowledge gained by evaluating the pros and cons associated with alternative sites and leases.